Welcome back to DivaDollFlawless. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on a Hocus Pocus inspired card. The basis of the card is coming from these dies. They are from KS Craft. KS Craft has an AliExpress and Amazon store. I purchased mine from the Amazon store, but this is the theme. This is what started this because it's a film strip and it's a movie. So this die right here looks like this, and it actually has the film strip with 2 slots and then the 3 cells. So 2 cells, 3 cells, you have an option there. I'm using this stamp set. This is the Squad Ghouls stamp set from the sassyclub.com. And then as far as the dies, I'm using my KS Craft Slimline Star background die. And then this is the basic stitching die set. All right, so those are the dies that I'm using, and the base of the card is supposed to be black. Okay, and then I did cut out some gold foil because I'm going to have the stars layered on top of that, and I wanted them to shine through. And then I went ahead and marked this off so that I can do some ink blending on this card. I did yellow here, orange here, and purple here, so that's where Sarah, Winnie, and Mary are going to go. I'm going to use orange, crushed velvet, and honey pot. To color all of my images, I'm going to use my Spectrum Noir. These are the tri-blend markers, okay? Now, I've already started with the process, but for Mary's hair, I was about to call her Winnie. For Mary's hair, I did use my gray marker and my purple marker. I just put in her purple highlights first and then colored everything in with the gray. And then I used a fair skin marker to color their shades in, but my lights are washing it out. It's not really much I can do about that, and that's how I started coloring them in. If you want a quick glance of all of the markers I plan on using, then what I use or will be using are the Citrus Blend, Fair Skin, Dark Red Blend, Orange Blend, Muted Brown, Earth Brown, Jade Green, and I may have covered all of them, but you can always screenshot that. So that's everything that I plan on using. If I use anything else, we'll go over it as the time goes, but I need to go ahead and start getting them colored in. A lot of people definitely color theirs different as far as the colors go. I say try not to stress over it too much and just go in and color it any way that you really want to. I'm not doing anything specific or special, I guess you could say, as far as the coloring. I'm not trying to do a lot of shading and stuff on their dresses. I'm just going to go ahead and color these in all the way. I did do more shading, I guess you could say, on the skin and the hair, but as far as the dress itself and their capes and all of that go, I'm not really worried about that. So I'm going to go in and make sure I am grabbing the right one and finish coloring in Miss Winnie. Now, if I wanted to do more shading, I would just start with my lightest color, lightest color, move to my mid shade, and then the darker one. So that's how you use these markers if you really do want to have more shading going on. And what I'll do is I'll just show you what that would look like on here. So I did the darker color there, and then I'll just fill this in, and then as the markers dry down, you'll have more of a shading effect on the brooms. And I love these markers so much. If you use Copics, do whatever it is that you like to use. I really like that. You know what? I was just going to do the one, but I guess I'll just stick to my my shading on the broom. That looks really cute. And then I'm going to take my other marker, and I think I'll just use the EB6 actually, which is a mid-tone shade, to color in the handle of the broom. So for the most part, Winnie is done. I probably could go in and cut more around her hair and face, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave her be. She have done her chore, and I do have the movie on while I'm coloring to keep me in the mood. The girls are all colored and I absolutely love how they came out. I'll give you a really quick close-up of each one on how I did it. Again, the skin tone and any other lighter colors aren't showing up just because of the lighting, but I love how they came out. I love these stamps. I love her illustration type or style. It's just really fun and whimsical. To ink this up, I just took some washi tape and glued it down and put a piece of printer paper under so that I have something for this to transfer onto. And then I'm going to just start with my colors that I showed you all. And I have them all lined up in front of me with their own little sponge so that I don't have to worry about mixing anything up. I started off the paper and kind of blended my way in, but there's no one way it has to be. And because I actually because I have written on my paper, probably not the smartest idea, I would advise you to go ahead and take those markings off before you go doing any inking, because it will be there. But most likely this little piece is going to be covered by the stamped image that's going on it anyway. So anytime I have to take the ink, the sponge off, I always start from the edge of the paper and work my way back in, because I would rather the edges be a little darker and not the middle, just so that I can make sure I'm at least getting some even blending for the most part. But yeah, so I'm just going to keep doing this. I already mapped this out based off of the this little thing right here. So I have my colors mapped out on where I want them to be. So technically I can actually go ahead and start blending my orange in, and I will have to move that washi tape so that we're good to go. Now I need to go ahead and start building up the card so that I can apply the colored images on the front. And I'm going to put the foil piece on first. There is double-sided sticky tape on the back of this so that I can glue it to the back layering piece. And then this and this needs to go on there, and I'm going to use my fine tip glue bottle with the art glitter glue inside of it to adhere these ones on here, because this one has a lot of little openings and I don't want to apply too much glue and then it comes oozing out or getting on the foil. Now that everything is glued together, I'm ready to go ahead and put the colored images on. I did take some of the stamped sentiments and I used those same markers just to color them in a light green. That way it kind of looks like the words that they're all saying are glowing. And I added pop dots to the back of the images. Now it was important for me to put the words down so that I know how I want to actually place all of the sisters. And I'm not going to pop the words up only because Mary's is so small that I kind of want it to all look cohesive, and I'll just have just the Sanderson sisters on the pop dots, and then their sayings are going to be in their cell with them. If I can get this off. I'm telling you, my nails, you would think it would help me, but I don't know. It doesn't. Oop. And let me use my tweezers. Okay. So a muck is going to go here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put Sarah here. Move her up just a touch, so it looks like she's floating. And I really like how the foil pops through. And now that her words are down, I don't want to jump around, so I'm going to go ahead, or Now that her image is down, oh no, that's a little too much glue. So I'm gonna pick some of that off my finger and rub it somewhere else. I just recently refilled my glue bottle, so just the tiniest bit of pressure on it and it gives me a lot of glue. So let's go ahead and get her phrase down, and then I'll do the same thing for the other two and figure out what else it is that I want to go ahead and add onto this card. Now that the images are all glued down, the next step I want to do is add a glowing element, but I don't really want to take too much away from everything that I've done. I was playing around with my Nouveau drops, and I believe I'm going to go ahead and use these. These are the Nouveau Glow Drops, but just to play around with the idea, a couple months ago, I had put some of my Nouveau drops on this acetate sheet so that I can do exactly what it is that I'm doing right now, which is to just have these pre-made, and I could glue them down with my art glitter glue, but I might go ahead and just squeeze them on a bottle. I'll show you what I'm doing, because now I need to decide if I want this card to sit up and be more like an easel card, or do I want it to have a back and actually have a sentiment. I'm still deciding. The back of the card is done, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I did make a little bit of a boo-boo here. Normally when I press out any stickles or Nouveau drops, I almost always do it on a separate sheet of paper just to kind of get any air or anything out, even though I store mine upside down, but it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't like bother me because it goes in with her little cells, so I just left it as such. I did go ahead and cut a second piece of black cardstock just to make sure that this was nice and sturdy, because I decided I do want this to just sit up like this. Now, in order to do that easel type of card, I'm using this. This is my Anna Griffin easel card die, and I'm not necessarily going to have it as an easel, a traditional easel where you would have another piece at the bottom. I really just want it to kind of sit up and look more like a canvas. So I cut it out, and then I also added the #squad ghouls sentiment and colored it green, because again, I wanted to do the green so it makes it like the words are all glowing, which you probably can't even tell because my light keeps changing due to the contrast. So I'm going to take my art glitter glue and just glue this on the back of here like this, and the card will sit up by itself. All right, here is the finished card. I absolutely love it. Having it stand up on its own is probably going to be one of the things that I do from here on out with all of my Slimline cards. I love the design on the back. It just gives it a nice cohesive look. It looks really neat, and I like having a little sentiment here. So this is how you can use all of those little small stamps that sometimes you're like, where am I going to put it? It's not big enough, or you know. So I love that. And again, if you wanted to, you could make a pocket back here and put your letter to the recipient inside of it, or you can just simply write on the back of this if you wanted to. There's a lot of different options that you can do, but this card is awesome. I will make sure to insert some clips so that you can just see the Nouveau drops glow. It is adorable. I love this card. I'm ready to make another one just for myself. But I know that the recipient of this card is going to love it because she's just in love with the Sanderson sisters as I am. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope this was a fun craft with me. Happy fall, and I will see you in the next video. Have a gorgeous day, Smooches. Mwah. Bye.